Damn, Ingenious made the beat? Yo, welcome to another episode of the Coach Life Podcast Radio. I'm, of course, your host, the Prince of Positivity, Coach Steve. Join me, as always, my co-pilot, partner in crime, Coach Luna. How we doing, Brody?
Good, man. Blessed. I've been sharing with you guys, bro. It's been Max Week for my middle schoolers, man, and it's been exciting to see um that pure joy when these kids are like doing things that they didn't believe that they could do. I'm like, man, it has less to do with like the training part of it. It has everything to do with the benefits of that mindset that you gain from accomplishing something like that and
Hmm.
what it does from like years from now, bro. So my my cup that's been full is now pouring in other spots, and it's beautiful to see, bro.
Just runneth over at this point, bro.
Man, I truly enjoy that part, bro. Like every single day.
Your boy's moving and grooving right now, man.
Hey, man, they doing good things, man. It's told them if you just put in the work, it'll benefit the
Oh,
show.
Most
so
definitely. Most definitely. CEO and founder of the Coach Life Podcast and brand about building your brand. Coach Wash, how we doing, Brody?
man, blessed and and highly favored. Like just yeah. I just been journaling and reading, bro.
Another interesting week for you too, bro. A lot of revelations this week for you.
Man, a whole lot. But it's all good. Everything good.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts. Facts. What we talking about today, fellas?
that's a good question.
That was a great question, ain't it?
Yeah,
Coach Luna, you know what
Hmm.
we talking about?
I ain't got a single clue.
So
I'm here
as
for the ride.
as both my astute cohorts just alluded to, I've been kind of leading them on a little bit of a wild goose chase with this particular podcast. What we talking about today? I told them to get themselves in the mindset of game time. So today we're gonna be talking about some locker room truths, some truths, and some real talk behind the peek behind the curtain, so to speak, of locker room truths.
You don't want to peek around behind the wrong curtain in the locker room.
right,
The
Let's
right,
the
start there.
right curtains, what we
right.
talking about, bro. We gonna PG right now. PG. We can tell some stories. We can tell a lot of stories, but
Uh,
we're gonna keep this very PG. Very PG. You can push the boundaries just a tad. But but ultimately we bring on a number of coaches, a number of personnel across multiple different platforms, multiple different industries, and they talk about their insight mindset on, coaching, their coaching philosophy, so on and so forth. We did this in the very beginning of when we first started Coach Life Podcast to kind of get people to know a little bit more about us. Doesn't give everybody the opportunity to kind of see a little bit deeper into the player slash coach that is Coach Life, Coach Luna, Coach Wash, and Coach Steve. A little bit peek behind the curtain for a couple things. So I got a couple games that we're gonna throw out there for you. Okay. First game is we call this rapid fire real talk. Give you 60 seconds. I'm gonna throw you a flurry of questions, just like we do with everybody else that we throw on. These questions a little bit tweaked based on some of the podcasts that we talked about, some of our previous pods, some of the questions that we've had in our group chat that we've had, conversations that you guys have had with other group chats that you have going, and then brought back to our group chat. Just a combination of a lot of those different questions, qualities and mindsets. So I'm gonna throw a question at either one of you, and I know that Coach Wash is like on pins and needles right now because he like, don't pick Luna first. Give me the opportunity to try to at least get my 2 cents in first. So guess what? You get to go first, Coach Wash. You get the first question.
Hey, man, I was used to it at this point, but it's cool.
I know you were probably thinking like, that's where we're gonna go. No, bro, I'm gonna pull a quick left on you. I'm gonna let you take this first question.
For sure.
Okay. First question for you, sir, is what's one trait that every coach must have? Non-negotiable. Ooh, did I stump you?
Great character.
A great character. Okay. Elaborate, sir. What do you mean by a great character? Because again, we can go in a lot of different areas with great character.
Well, you have to give the boys something to lead. I mean, to follow. You got to get them something to follow. That's something that's worth following, something that they can believe in. You have to don't fake the funk. Like be something that people actually can look up to. And there's more trust than that.
I'm gonna have to wholeheartedly agree with you on that because I've seen your coaching style, and if this ain't the realest the same coach that you get on the field is the same coach you get off the field. So it's the same mindset. So like that baseline characteristics is 100% agreed. Coach Luna, what is one trait that is non-negotiable every coach must have?
Consistency. Um, and it goes along. I really do believe like it all falls underneath the character umbrella.
Yeah.
But like consistency in your role as a coach, consistency as your role as a father, consistency in your role as a husband, consistency in your role as a brother, and all those hats that you may have. Um, Being consistent in those, and we talked about it before on this pod. I really do believe like a lot of the time what happens with coaches is we fall into the trap of idolatry and we treat football like our god. And essentially, what ends up happening is God gets replaced by football. And in the order of who we're supposed to be as men and who we're called to be as coaches, it's never supposed to be that way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those other areas get affected when that flip happens. And it's not even like a choice. It just naturally happens. And before you know it, you look back, this happened, that happened, that happened, and those things just stack upon each other. So I think you have to be consistent. If you're going to be that type of a coach, you need to be that type of a husband. You need to be that type of person in all those areas and not one over the other.
I love that answer. I love that answer because it coincides very much with the theme of Coach Wash having, again, good character, right? Just like you said. I'm going to also say it coincides with one that I think is a non-negotiable when it comes to coaching. It's balance. That's
Mm.
something we lose consistently when we're coaching. And we lose it in a lot of different aspects too. We lose it in the sense of not having balance with our time. We sometimes don't have that same balance with how we coach certain players, how we discipline certain players, so on and so forth. Like I hear sometimes that they're like coaches like get like take this particular player out because we don't want to, we don't want to hurt him. We don't want to, give him his reps, so on and so forth. Is that cheating him in a way by not giving him his reps? Are we treating him the same as we treating everybody else? Is he getting the same work, the same looks, the same setups that everybody else is getting right now? I get it. We want to save the player, but again, sometimes that balance, I think we lose sight of that balance. And like I said, in a lot of different areas. I know for being an OC at one point in time, it was definitely a balance shift that I had to come to a realization because I felt at one point in time I was still holding on to not airing the ball out enough when I was, when I was in college, right? So let's air it out when I'm in high school. I mean, we're playing, coaching high school football now, right? Well, you just took out 50% of your playbook right there because now I want to be pass heavy, right? Like having that type of balance. So again, I think that coincides again, just kind of knowing yourself and understanding where those pitfalls could lie. Second question for you, Coach Wash. I'll let you go second time again. Favorite post game meal? You just told me you was
Uh,
making wings right after this, bro. So Coach Wash got this one. Favorite post game meal?
Man, in college, man, we was going to
I know
what's
where we
the
were going.
what taco spot, boy? What I don't remember the name of it. Burrito.
Burrito.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a burrito and some tacos. It wasn't just a burrito. I get a giant burrito and 3 tacos if we were at home. And if we was away,
I was gonna
I was
say
gonna
if
get
it
that
was
when we
away,
got back.
we had the luxury of not having to stay too much like overnight. Again, we played D3, so we weren't that fancy. Coach Luna, favorite post game meal?
bacon egg burrito. It was either from Jack in the Box, Del Taco, or what was another spot? I think there was another spot. Oh, Waterburger. Well, no, Waterburger ain't have it, but they had the little taquitos. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
gonna get me some tortilla with some protein for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For
Is
sure.
it was tacos like any kind of Mexican food? Was that like almost on everybody's list after a
It's
game?
not even that, bro. It's just the availability. And if you in
That
like
too.
they stay open. And if
Yeah.
you have a
True.
choice between that and McDonald's,
McDonald's.
like, come on now.
Easy. Easy.
That's
It's
that's
easy, bro.
that's not even competition, bro.
Yeah. Boy, that
Just the
burrito.
availability. See, somebody
Yeah.
should open up another like this probably would have been a good time to start hitting up, food trucks coming in and around that time. So good marketing idea right there. Coach Luna, you take this one, bro.
All
What is
right.
the most underrated player you've ever coached and or played with?
Underrated?
That you've either coached or played with?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't really feel like he was underrated, but like his accomplishments while we was in college, it was kind of crazy. And that's my boy Kobe Targan. The one I told y'all that did an Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bro, if you look at bro, there's nothing that says, yeah, this dude was playing baseball, starting on the baseball team, starting on the football team. And then as soon as he got done playing football, he went and did an Ironman for the hell of it. Like literally, I asked him what was his motivation. It's like, yeah, just felt like doing it.
It was
The
a Tuesday.
Iron Man. Y'all don't understand how hard the Iron Man.
Oh, I know what it is.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the listeners.
Yeah.
Like y'all just Google what is an Ironman race and how it all comes together. But yeah, bro, super super humble, bro. Super humble. Like I said, played on both sports on the football team. Um, never was a big talker at all, but bro was always in the right place, making plays. Like he was as a coach. Like obviously I didn't get to coach him. I played with him, but as a coach, I could see why you could see the consistency in his play, and you can count on him to do exactly what you asked him to do. He gonna be there. He gonna know exactly the adjustment, emotion. He knows exactly what to call. Like you appreciate those things as a coach because it's like, oh, okay, they're listening. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going in one ear and out the other.
Those are again those uncoachables, right?
Yeah,
Those things you again, like you said, you don't have to coach. He got it. He understands it because he's reading. He's paying attention.
yeah.
Coach Wash, most underrated player you either ever coached or played with.
Oh, man. This is actually a very tough one for me. I can't pick one off the top. Oh man.
We'll give you a pass if you need a pass. But you gotta answer 2 questions now,
I'll
at
take
least
the
for this
two.
round. You'll take the
I'll
two.
take the two right now.
Cut or keep a talented player or a talented player with a bad attitude. Yes, cut or keep. A talented player with a bad attitude. Start with that one.
Cut.
You ain't gonna even try to work on the attitude. Do you think it's a possibility you can change the attitude?
I think it's something to work on, but I mean, without any details, I'm assuming like this is a continuous problem. I mean, if remediation hasn't worked, then it's a cut situation. I'm not cutting somebody right off the bat. You already know I'm a work with you.
What's the age of the athlete?
Let's
That's a
say
that's a
let's
good
let's
one.
start with high school. Let's say cut or keep high school. Talented
Yeah.
player
Freshman,
like
sophomore, because
let's
that plays a
say
part.
Varsity.
let's say freshman. We'll start off with a freshman.
That's easy.
Freshman in high school, talented player. This kid is going to go and play at a D1 college. We know that for a fact based on his
Maybe.
performance in the past and based on what he's done as a freshman or just starting out right now, understanding the game and has the football acumen, but is a bad apple.
Is this just attitude, or we got like what type
It's
of
just
circumstance?
attitude. Just
Yeah, because
attitude.
we didn't dealt with some court cases, so I gotta like how
There's
serious
just
we
attitude
talking?
right
You know what
now.
I'm
This
saying? Just attitude. No, we can work on that. We can work on that. Not I like as far as what I done dealt with before. Like yeah, we talking like doing time potentially. Like they got a route to jail if we don't get this corrected. But it's more serious things going on. But yeah, if we just talk about attitude, that's it. No, we can. I'm gonna be more patient and put a lot more time into that. And
okay.
even with the other example, honestly, my heart ain't gonna let me let go even the other way. I probably would fight. I probably fight more for the one potentially with some more serious things that can happen to him in life. But yeah, yeah, I would say just attitude. We'll keep it.
Coach Luna, let's upgrade this player. He is now in college, freshman in college. We know this kid is going to go to the NFL based on his performance, yo. Cut or keep.
How bad is he?
And,
How
Yeah,
much of a
these
headache are we talking
variables.
about?
That's yeah,
You know
and
that part plays a part because especially in college, you got to think about there's money involved. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? And whoever this kid may be, now you got donors and boosters saying, "Hey, we need so and so to be on the field." You know what I'm saying? So there's so many more variables behind that. But in today's day and age, I think these kids weed themselves out.
yeah,
They just hop in the portal. You know what I'm saying? So that's their
go up the
easy
street.
way out. They just all right. Well, I'm not being treated how I want to be, and blah blah blah. They just hop in the portal. Thing that they don't understand is like coaches talk. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So once you've established a certain um name for
Reputation.
yourself,
Yeah,
yeah, and you gotta, hey, that attribute is attributed to that player, it's a wrap. We could think about that one kid from out here in Houston that went to A&M and then left because he wasn't playing, went to
hmm
another school in Cali, and now
yeah,
I think he all the way down to JUCO,
yeah.
like 5-star athlete.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's nothing to talk down on the kid, but it was literally what happened. You know what I'm saying? And from everything that all the reports of what coaches was saying is like his attitude was god awful. So if you want the true proof of what's going on in college, they're gonna let you go. They're gonna hop right in the portal and hop and get somebody else.
Find another one.
They'll
Yeah.
just find somebody else. You know what I'm
So now let's add a quick addition onto this question. The coaches that take on that player from the former D1, D1 AA schools, now playing at a D3 or a JUCO or whatever the case may be, does that player one still have an opportunity to still make it to the next level?
If
And
you can play, they're gonna find you. That's plain and simple. If you can play, they're gonna find you. Bro. It don't matter where you're at. You can be at Tuskegee State in, you know, Indiana somewhere. They don't matter, bro. They'll find you.
Yep.
and
They
is
get paid a lot of money to find
oh, absolutely.
We had a
Now,
teammate at Benedictine. The Bears called him for a tryout.
mhm.
Don't matter the level, neither. Trying to tell Shorty, you show up wherever you at and show out.
you. Mm-hmm.
If you really that nice.
Let's pivot now. Let's go to this. Let's go to the pregame or postgame ritual. Everybody had something that they did. Coach Luna, what was your pregame or postgame ritual that you had?
Song regulators.
Yes,
The
sir.
regulators for
Yeah.
sure. And the reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
The
Those are like,
reasons?
oh man, I love that song, bro.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the song too. But
Yeah,
that
bro.
was the song
I like tranquility, bro, when it was time to go into the game. Like controlled chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like when it was time for kickoff, all right, now it's game time. You know what I'm saying? But before that, I didn't like to hype myself up too much. I want to be like laser like focused. And when I walk the field, I would always start at the nearest left pylon,
Mhm.
the back of the end zone, walk the whole sideline, back of the end zone, sideline, back of the end zone. Sometimes I would get on the 50, walk the 50, just look, peruse, and see the whole field. And then I would go and sit on the goalpost nearest the field house and just visualize, just chill and visualize. And one of our coaches, he was very, very big on like, think this and this will happen.
Make it
Like
happen, right?
he would always tell like, think turnover, think touchdown, think that, and he country as could be. And I still want Coach Wiley. Oh, it was hilarious, bro. But looking back, I'm like, bro, he was literally just speaking visualization and the power of like believing in what you think could happen, probably will happen if you really do believe it. You know what I'm saying? And that same year we ended up going to state. So, and a couple of games we probably should have lost, but thank turnover.
Yeah.
Mindset is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything go. Everything. Coach Wash, pregame, postgame ritual.
Oh man. Pregame, I wasn't very set. I did the same thing, but I didn't have a set song. So whatever I woke up feeling game day, it was the same. I did it the same way. I had my headphones in. I was sitting in front of my locker, whatever locker we was at, and just zone out into whatever it was. Now I could say in college, I had a lot of Jeezy going. I had a lot of I was a big Dipset fan. I had a lot of Cameron Rowland, Jewels, the whole nine. And then occasionally I'm a big neo soul guy. So if I woke up kind of like how Luna said he always was pregame, I had those vibes too. So I was real big in R&B. It might be some Jill Scott, some Flowetry. Um, I was listening to Music Soul Child a lot at that time too. Alicia Keys. So whatever I was feeling in the morning before the game, I was locked in, just rolling that before the game. And as far as I did visualize, like without that being taught to me, like I just would try to see myself making certain plays. Anytime we would just be going through our warm-ups, as we going through our route tree, I would just see those routes translating into the game, me making plays.
I'm gonna say heavy DMX.
Yeah, I remember
Here we go again.
Heavy
Same
DMX, bro.
old.
the prayers, everything.
Because I get a prayer in too. That's what
That's what I
that's
say.
why.
Get a
It's like
prayer in.
I get
Yep.
an extra prayer in while I'm there too, bro. Like heavy DMX, and definitely have to have a little bit of Wu-Tang in there. Mainly Mos Def. Mainly Mos Def.
I already know.
That's all I needed
That's
right there.
Coach Steve GOAT right there. In case y'all ain't know.
That's hey.
Most definitely.
Argue with your mamas.
Yusef.
Argue with your mamas. Yo,
Yusef now. Yeah.
is Mos Def is forever. Mos Def and Method Man, bro. Argue with your mamas about everything
Mhm.
else. Next question for you. Our last question in the rapid fire real talk round. What was the go-to sideline snack if you had the opportunity to have a sideline snack?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Wasn't no snacks on Gene Johnson sideline. Wasn't nothing out there, bro. Not
we
at all.
had we had snacks on in college. We had snacks, but we just wasn't able to really get them.
The
They
closest
was
thing to a
if you got
snack,
hurt.
the closest thing to a snack was a salt tablet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That and them big old yellow
apples and
pills. I
oranges on
still
the
don't know what the big
sideline.
old yellow pills were.
Yeah. Oranges.
Salt and probably all of those are salt tablets, bro. Honestly.
Yeah. The banana coming in at halftime was
Yep.
clutch.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah.
That's so did you have the mom that packed lunches for you guys or had like little sideline lunches for everybody?
Sir, no, sir. This is Texas.
Well,
We ain't
I'm
had
sorry.
we ain't had that in high school neither.
When I was coaching at Joe's, we had a lot of moms that were like, "Let's
Well,
give me this."
I remember Joe's culture. You know, that was a small private school, so it was, you know, we was really at the bottom of the barrel amongst our competition.
Amongst a lot of the
We
competition.
literally had recruits that lived around the corner from the school, Luna. These mothers was busing, public transportation busing to the south side. So anybody from Chicago, St. Joe's is not open anymore. If you know the
Hmm.
history, that's where the original Isaiah Thomas went. Um,
Yep.
St. Joe's is on the west side, Westchester. Boys was busing from over there to the south side. There was players going to Mount Carmel that lived next to Joe's, like
Literally right next door.
around the corner.
Can
And
walk out the house and look at the school.
yeah, the private school scene, some famous people you know that went to Mount Carmel. Was it Donovan McNabb went to Carmel too? Yeah. But All Stop went to Joliet Catholic.
Hmm.
But yeah, they boys was traveling away from that. But yeah, we didn't do that when I was in high school though. We ain't had nothing on the sideline. I mean, the only snack I was having on the sideline if we had a problem was Tylenol.
Maybe.
And then I was taking too many of them depending on what was happening. Yeah.
Well, in high school, I never got a chance to see the sideline, especially when you play both ways and on all the special teams. That's what happens when you only have like 12 kids on the whole team. So
Yeah, one of them.
one of
Yeah.
them, one of them. That's how high school was the entire time. But that made college a whole lot easier because I could run all day. We've been on the field literally for 3 hours. I'm all right. So yeah, but true enough, didn't see too many sideline snacks, but just one of those extra questions threw out there because I've seen a lot of moms do that. Make little sideline snacks for their kids, like at halftime and stuff. Next segment, fact or cap. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. You gonna tell me it says fact, you agree with it, or it's cap? Based on your own personal experience. So here's a quick example. Hard work always beats talent.
Cap.
Super
And
cap.
why?
Because you use the word always.
Yeah.
Can't use the word. You can't use absolutes. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna
It's
always go opposite.
hard work
It's
beats talent.
it's a good motivational thing for the shorties, but I ain't gonna tell them the truth behind it. Because that ain't gonna get what we trying to get up out of. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
You gotta finish off the quote though. It's hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work
it's
hard.
hard. Yeah.
Now,
I feel you.
a team that is motivated will always be the lazy team. I almost want to go with that before that.
Yeah.
A team that's motivated and wants to go and win something is they don't have to be the most talented, but based off willpower and a collective group, they have a better chance of winning than the overall lazy team that just wants to come out there and roll and win.
Yeah.
I
Don't
agree
even
with
want
that
to win,
100%.
actually. They just expect to win.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Best players make the best coaches.
No. Cap.
Luna?
Well, everything is opinionated, bro. Because somebody like Bill Belichick, for example,
Okay.
not to take anything away from his greatness, but you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady won all those rings when he was there. Look at your record without Tom. Look at Tom without you. There was only one consistency there. Tom. So he's always been my prime example of like, yeah, I hear you, but
He's an
you know,
anomaly though. He's an anomaly.
it is. But again,
because of who Tom Brady is. Now I'm gonna tell you my thought process. Tom Brady goes back to your previous question, the hard work guy. He
that's
wasn't
true.
super talented. So that's why he had to be the best because of his hard work. And also he was a great coach because he had to work hard. But if we talking about like a Michael Jordan, if we talking about like the gifted guys, we've seen examples of some of them try to step in, not Jordan specifically, but you've seen some of them try to step into the role of coach, and they're not necessarily the most successful. A lot of times we see the sixth man, or we see, somebody that didn't do a whole lot. They had a shorter career. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world to talk about, and those a lot of times end up being the coaches we end up talking about. They won like the stars. Uh, Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? Like they were around greatness, but a lot of times the best ones are not the greatest, and I hear it a lot from like just kids I know playing today, or just when I used to watch a lot of interviews and stuff, and you'd be like, "Oh, this guy really wasn't that good of a coach." It's like they did what they did well, and they can't really coach it though, because they
I see
had
that.
something that wasn't coachable to begin with. So it's like they don't know where to start to actually teach.
Right. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Well, because I've always loved Andy Reid. Let's use him as an example.
Yeah,
Andy Reid couldn't get over the hump,
yeah,
so he got Pat Mahomes.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Great coach. He had Donovan McNabb. He had T.O. He had all them years when he was at Philly. Like
yeah,
plenty of superstars.
yeah,
Could never get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think they're both when they come together,
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. But
Mhm.
like you can tell when one is separate without the other. Like you can tell when there's a great player and a not so great coach, or you
yeah,
can tell when there's a great coach with not so great players. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
oh, they got a great scheme over there, bro, but they just got no speed or they ain't got no talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah.
think it's you can tell when it's meshed.
Okay. Here's a controversial one.
No,
Millennium coaches are too soft as coaches.
I'm a millennial and I ain't so.
you don't count. You got old soul. We
So
we
No,
we
I,
the
I think I
the
think
nah,
who you gonna go first, Coach?
nah. You go.
I was gonna say I think it just comes down to like what we talked about in one of our first pods. I really just do think that the overall society and the adults right now are just too soft on kids,
Yeah,
and you know we we're trying to pacify these kids and we're babying them too much. And I've never seen that work. You know what I'm saying? Like in my age, and all of us as grown adults, and we see how we are now, and we see how we talk now, and we see how we act now. Um, our coaches got after us.
Yeah.
They never belittled me. They never went ahead and called me anything outside of my name. They never went ahead and talked about my family. They never did any of that. But they held me accountable. I will never forget my coach pulling me out of class, sitting me down in front of the TV monitor, and we're watching a clip from when I was playing against Marshall my sophomore year in high school. And slant gets caught behind me, and like I'm just jogging to the ball. And he just stopped the film. He just kept replaying. I'm looking, I'm like, what is he trying to show me? And he stopped. He was like, you know why I'm showing you this? Like, no. He was like, Luna, you're an undersized linebacker. You don't have all the athletic ability in the world. And you're taking plays off. What can I say? How can I sell you to coaches when I watch stuff like this on film? I said immediately, boy, my eyes started watering. Cause at this point, bro, I was just like, man, I felt like I let him down, but I also disappointed myself. Like, dang, like I'm supposed to pride myself on my hard work, you know what I'm saying, and my consistency. And here this is pointing me out, telling me, hey, you're not going hard enough. I was like, bro, I ate that. And I was like, man, that hurt. Well, I was bawling. I was crying. I was angry the whole rest of the day, bro. Like I would have slapped or punched somebody if they would have asked me a question. Like I was that angry, bro. But my response to it instead was, I'll never get questioned like that again. You get what I'm saying? Like, so instead of like, coach talked about me and blah, 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 because that's what's going on today. Kids will go ahead and take that. Oh, coach talked about me and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, fool, he's trying to tell you you're not going to be successful and you're not going to get what you want unless you have magnificent effort because you lack in these areas. Thank you for the honesty, coach.
Yeah.
Just didn't have to tell you.
Honesty. You know, bro, I had my DC in college tell me the same thing. It was like, Luna, you're undersized. You're not the fastest. You know, we can't really trust you in coverage. We know you know what to do, but you know, in those areas, and those are the big things that we need you to do at this position. You know, it's hard to see you out there. Like we loved you at inside linebacker, but I couldn't see nothing. I can't read keys. I can't do what I'm good at if I can't see over linemen. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same thing when I moved out there. I'm like, well, now I got to cover slot receivers.
Yeah.
So it's like I always appreciate honesty, bro. Like as an adult, as a kid, I learned that I respond better to true honesty because it gives me a true assessment over the things that I need to work on.
Makes it clear.
I think that's where the disconnect is because we want to baby these kids. It's like, bro, we're not being honest with them. And how are they going to learn critical thinking skills and how to do things for themselves if they're not getting true, honest feedback?
Yeah.
Wash.
So,
I know you got something to add on to this one.
Nah, they soft as Q-tip cotton, boy. What you mean? Yeah. Nah, it's definitely too. I just bumped the record booth in the class today. I just stopped everything we was doing to bark at some kids and give them some real spit. We was doing presentations and I got irritated at some of the repeated things I was like seeing on some of the slides. And I was just like, one, the grammar's bad. I'm talking 7th and 8th graders. And I'm like, I'm like, grammatically, I said I wrote better than y'all when I was in 2nd grade. And I'm not even exaggerating. Like I'm dead serious. I'm like, it's stuff that I teach y'all that's not a part of my lesson plans that I have to tap into and teach outside of my area of study of my subject. I have to step out because I would do you a disservice not addressing
Hmm.
what I'm
Where your
seeing
real
right now.
issues are, right?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm like, some of the stuff y'all telling me y'all want to be, y'all want to do. I'm like, we go to the other side of the district. You can't compete with the kids your age. If I
Hmm.
drop you in a classroom in some of the other schools in your district, or let's say just another district that demographic different. I'm dealing with mostly black and brown kids. I'm like, do you not realize or understand what you gonna come up against? How people gonna perceive you and prejudge you before you even say a word. And the sad part is it hurt my heart to know when y'all open your goddamn mouth or put something on paper, you gonna prove them right. So I would do you a disservice not to address it. And I said, AP can walk in here and have a problem with how I'm actually addressing you. I don't care. Cause too many people ain't giving y'all the real. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. I'm like, you change your mind, you change your life. I'm telling you right now, where y'all minds at right now, we not looking at a good life. We not. We not. I was just
You're
some of
not
y'all.
accomplishing the goal that you're talking about accomplishing.
No stuff like I had to tell a kid like he had lawyer on his my principles of business class. It's like his career. It was a career project.
Hmm.
They had to research like all the requirements to be a lawyer. I need to know, what degrees you need, what GPA you need to have to get into the colleges that you're looking to get into to actually before you even head into this career. Whole presentation, dragging their feet, getting it done. And he was late. And so I was baffled to see that he wanted to be a lawyer. And then I walked over to him because he kept asking me, he had turned it in late. And I was like, I'm automatic 10 points off anything you submit to me a day late. And then we tax him more if it go beyond that. And then I got a cutoff. I said, after a week, I don't even want to see it. You might as well save your time, the time that you wasted doing nothing to begin with. So I walk over to him. I said, you once said you want to be a lawyer, right? He was like, yeah. And I was like, make a good argument for why I should take this work from you a week late. Go. I see how good you are right now.
Real world experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I see some of the other teachers and I watch them and I don't knock them, I'll be like looking at like classroom management and I just be like, what we doing? I be seeing some of the same kids roam the hall. I'm like, why you still giving them kids passes? Like I got a
Hey,
cap on passes. I'm like, look, dog, you got 3 per quarter in my class. Manage your
So
bladder
what?
wisely. You know what I'm saying? And for the young ladies, come tell coach if you got an emergency, but don't abuse your position either, because I'm gonna be
Mhm.
checking for you. I will put the whole class on pause and step outside the door. I'll be looking down the hall. And it'd be like the wild, wild west during periods sometimes. I'd be like, yo, G, like what? I'm like, who keep giving these same kids passes period after period and they be gone for like 10, 15 minutes? I'm like, what are we doing? So to answer the
So
question, after I done went down this
I
whole,
was, I
I'm
would
getting
say
riled up
you,
again. Like, dog,
yeah,
we
you're
are
really
not,
back, bro. It's really back.
not not hard enough at all. Super soft. Like cats be worrying about lawsuits and everything. I'm like, man, I told the kid today, I said, look, I'm not hired by CFISD. So I'm not finna give you no nice talk. I'm hired by God. They can't see him. You
So
finna hear that
you're gonna
though.
hear this though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank God I'm here for it.
It
And
is.
somebody need to deliver it. Jesus.
right. Yeah, bro. I told the kids the other day, I'm not going back and forth with an 11-year-old.
No, this ain't no argument.
This
You
is this is not
you
an
you
argument.
you need to
Sit your butts
listen.
down.
Yeah,
Sit down.
listen. And my
Sit.
my 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 classroom be still like I'm like they be looking like, oh, what is some of the things you do? I'm like, this ain't no. This ain't no strategy. Boy, I'm the teacher. I
It's
came
as
in,
simple as that.
I came in here as such. Like, what you mean? What don't be passive while you talking. Like talk like command the room. Like, why should
So
and that's
so
the crazy thing, man. The parents, well, I'm gonna go back to that. The parents off because I'm like, you're not even worried about the report that's gonna get back to your parents. So I'm like wondering what's happening at the crib if you ain't worried about the call.
so let me ask you a question now, because now it's another good one. This is another good question for you both. Factor cap. If you're not yelling, you're not coaching.
Nah,
Yeah,
that
okay.
one. When I first started, I used to think that was like that had to be the deal. Like you had to always be yelling. Um, I think effective coaching is the message over the volume for sure.
Hmm.
So you don't have to be extremely loud. You know what I'm saying? And some coaches may go ahead and think like it's soft because you're not loud. Like only if you heard what was said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be delivered so loud. But no, I really 100% believe it's just all about. I think it all goes back to that very first question. Like a person with good character, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He's not gonna have to bark super loud
Not at
to
all.
get his message across. You
I
know what
used
I'm
to
saying? Like
always talk about me. I wasn't out there barking at all. I'm saving my
not at
energy.
all.
I'm, but when I did though,
People
they
are
was
paying
all
attention.
ears.
Right.
Yeah.
It
And
was
not
more
everybody
effective.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Not and people call it a coach voice. Not everybody has it though. You know what I'm saying? So some people try to like raise their voice and it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You just not doesn't echo. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And
It
that's
doesn't
not
command.
yeah, and that's okay. Find your way of your communication. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can have that voice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different modes of communication, but there's always ways of effective communication that doesn't require yelling.
So let me throw this second question at you, Luna. Factor cap. Every player wants to be coached hard. They just don't know how to ask for it.
Every good player,
Mm.
every good player, not every player, because some players are just out there just to have a jersey on and just say that they're part of something. And then those players that um, don't have a lot of expectations at home
Hmm.
feel intimidated or threatened by a coach that has high expectations for them. And that's not their fault in a sense, but a coach with high expectations gonna have high expectations. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's gonna respond to that the same way. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe in like a high tide rises all boats. So as long as everybody in the program is like being held to a same standard, those that aren't naturally either fall off or rise up with the same tide. You know what I'm saying? So um, I think every good player, every good team, um, they want to be coached hard. And I've seen it in the middle school level. I've seen it with the kids that I'm currently with,
Hmm.
our seventh and eighth graders, from like the beginning of the year to where they're at now. It's so much better. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
they're more responsive because they know there's going to be consequences. Hey, all right, hey, we're going to start with 50 tomorrow. Don't worry about it. And that 50 going to turn into something real quick. And it's before you know it, it's 30 minutes of just me blowing my whistle until I'm tired.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they need that, bro. Like this is written. As a man, this is our command. This is given to us. This is our gift. We're supposed
So
to be this way. Like we're supposed to be the disciplinary.
there's a hustle with those type of individuals that other people don't have. So Coach Wash, hustle, is that a skill? Factor cap.
Is it a skill?
Is hustle a skill?
No,
An innate skill?
no, no, it's not a skill. It's um it's a choice.
Okay.
I mean,
Before you elaborate, don't elaborate
Mhm.
yet.
All
Coach
right.
Luna, do you feel like hustle is a skill or do you feel like it's a choice?
I think it's an instinct.
So it's an innate skill, something that
I
they can
think
just tap into and
I
turn on.
really do feel like some people just got that natural ability to just like, but I gotta get it, and some are just
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
Wash, explain, go elaborate on that point a little bit more.
yeah, I think I wouldn't call it a skill though, because if I even with it being innate for some people, I think it's the same thing as like working hard. Somebody can naturally just get to it.
Hmm.
But when I think of skills, uh, from like an advantage standpoint, it's like everybody, no matter how hard you work, everybody not gonna run a 10-second 100. You know what I'm saying? There's a
that
cap.
skill.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's a skill. But like just because somebody just got more grit naturally or want to, that's not to say that's not something somebody else couldn't do. Like I said, it's a choice at that point. It's like it comes down to discipline at that point. It's like what we talk about when you don't feel like doing something, you're not motivated to do something, discipline and how you move forward, you know. So at that point, to me, it's a choice. You know, some people may be more wired to like just go after it. Some people just lazy. But I think it's a I wouldn't call it a skill. I think it's a it's a fortunate situation for you to just be wired to go get it, but I think anybody could hustle. It's a choice. It's just a matter of saying, I'm gonna do this
Or not.
or not.
Okay. Coach Luna, this is one question I usually would throw to Coach Wash, but I'm gonna throw this to you.
what you got.
Factor cap. Speed cannot be coached. Factor cap.
I ain't never been that fast in my life, so
That's why I threw it to you. Because again, we can go to Coach Wash. I know he come from a speed mindset, again, doing tracking and football. But do you think it is something that can't be coached?
you can get coached to get faster, but no matter how much you coach me, I ain't finna pull up a Usain Bolt tomorrow, 2 years from now, 10 years ago. It ain't happening. I think
Okay.
certain, I think kind of like what he was talking about with the skills. I think certain talents are reserved for certain people. So um, mine happens to be strength. I'm pretty strong for my size. So I really just do think like it's for certain. Is speed? Can you coach speed to an extent? You can make it better. You can make it better, or you can make it worse. Which in that case, you're not working speed. But
Right, right.
you definitely can make it better. But that
Yeah.
kid, for example, let's use a kid that's at Side Springs, that freshman or that sophomore that ran like
Oh
a 10,
yeah.
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, like a
Yeah.
10 something. He was probably already fast,
Yeah.
seventh grade, eighth
Yeah.
grade. You know what I'm saying? So he was already rolling. The only
Yeah.
thing you can do now is not screw it up.
Yep.
He's already running like dang near Olympic
Yeah.
numbers,
Yeah.
right?
We just shaving
Yeah,
hundreds off
Hundreds
of
off,
the
right?
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we literally just can't screw it up.
Coach Wash, speed, can it be coached? Factor cap.
Yeah. Fact. It could be coach, but you have a cap.
There it is.
It
That's a
can
perfect
be
way to
coached,
put it.
but you got a cap.
Yeah.
Elaborate, sir.
So there's kids that, I've done private speed training for, and it's like, okay, he was at a 4.8 and I got him down to a 4.6. Continue training, maybe bust a 4.5, but you're not gonna be a 4.2 guy, you know. And it when with things you train and you can see where somebody's limits are. It's like I can get you here, but this is probably as far as you will go. Like you can train
Yeah.
and train and train, but you're not gonna set a world record. So we can improve upon where you're at, but Yeah. Everything has a limit. Everybody has their limit.
So, last question for you for our fact to cap round here. Last question. This one I'm gonna give this one to you again, Coach Luna. Off season. Is the off season more important than the regular season? Factor cap.
I mean, I lose my job based off of what we do in the regular season. As a, if that's your job and how it works, you may lose your job based off of that. But I really do believe that the results are built in the off season because if there's no camaraderie already being built, if there's no trust, if there's no um, consistency, discipline, all those characteristics we talked about earlier, if those things are already being shown in the things that you ultimately have control over, it's hard to fathom the idea that we're going to have a good season. If you ask a lot of the coaches, even us, like name a good team that had a terrible offseason. We can't think of one.
Right.
But we've seen those okay teams have very good off seasons and end up doing like okay talent, very good off season, end up having a better than we expected season. You know what I'm saying? Or you have that super talented team that underperforms, and then you look at the results of how they showed up in summertime, how they were during spring ball, how they were during the off season. You can draw the parallels.
Right. You can see where the results came from.
There's more of a cause and effect relationship with that, in my opinion.
I like how you answered that. All right. Before we cut up out of here, I got one quick last game for you.
Yeah, because I got them.
Fast 5 on this one. You got 5 fingers. We're going to ask you a series of quick questions. You're going to drop a finger every time this is true. So, give me your 5. First question is, I have peed my pants during a game.
No.
It was raining. It was raining. It was raining. And I had to go. There's no bathroom.
Were the pants a different color so you couldn't see
Pants
it?
was red, bro. So we were all good.
Oh, you were good.
We were all good.
Yeah.
I have cried after a big loss.
Boo-hoo.
Boo-hooed cried?
Yeah.
Hard
State
boo-hoo
championship now? Yes.
Oh yeah. It's over with there. I've been benched for being late.
No, but I did get benched for getting a staph infection taken out of my leg because the standard was you do not miss practice on a game.
Oh.
I'm like, because I had a staph infection that I had to get out.
That's crazy.
And that was the only time I could get it out. I never missed school, bro. Like, I had perfect attendance all years except that one year because I had to leave because of that.
Oh my God. That
Don't worry.
sucks.
After the first drive, when that quarterback drove down the field, Luna, you're back in.
Let me get my get back. I have broken a bone before. I have been afraid to hit somebody.
Probably
this one's gonna go
overly
down,
excited.
bro. This one's gonna go down. There's been one person that I have been afraid to hit. One person. This was after I kind of embarrassed him in a scrimmage, and then we ran the play again, and he knew what the play was. So absolutely, Shanahan.
Yeah, I remember Shanahan.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
I cracked him once, and he was out for me. I blocked his tail so bad. He was out for me.
That was a pull up. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pull up on that one. So
Yeah.
one of the few.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I salivated at the opportunity to hit somebody.
No, I wanted somebody.
I felt like the bigger man, bro. I love the David versus Goliath challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Give it to me every time.
Ask Wash. They put us on the line at one point in time, and I was just laying into people. I'll do that all day long. Mikey was smaller than me, It was something different.
He was like you, Luna. He is a firecracker.
He
He's about your size.
freak athlete, bro.
Yeah.
Freak athlete.
Yeah.
I have gotten into a fight with a teammate during practice.
Yeah.
I have been yelled at so bad I have thought about quitting. Well, we still holding on right now. We still holding on.
I didn't
I've
think about quitting, but I did think about leaving that.
It's like, I'm gonna walk out real quick. I have purposely skipped film study.
Nah.
Can't do that one. Can't do that one. Can't do that one.
I gotta
Last one. I have gotten away with a penalty that I've definitely should have been charged for.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them. All of them. All right, we lost Coach Wash because he had to go and take care of the fam right now. But again, if you like what you heard, smack that like subscribe button if you want to hear more from the Coach Life fam. Until the next time, family, stay positive, my friends.